Hello and welcome to South Africa. It's round 5 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship, and for the first ever time we land here in Cape Town. The locals, both human and mammal, are very much looking forward to this. Let's see what's going to happen. Well, here's the calendar as we look down on Cape Town itself. We race right through the heart of it as well, around a very fast street circuit. The opening 4 races, 1 to Dennis, 2 to Verline and 1 to Vern. After this we take a month break before going to Sao Paulo in Brazil, a double header in Berlin before Monaco on the 6th of May, doubling up in Jakarta, Portland on the 24th of June before the season rounds out with a double header in Rome and a double header in London, rounding out on the 30th of July. After 16 races, who will be world champion? Surrounded by water, the Cape Town EPrix is going to be a classic. This is how the Drivers' Championship looks coming into round 5. Pascal Verline leads the way on 80 points. Jake Dennis, after not finishing in the points last time out, only on 62. Jean-Eric Verne with victory now goes level with Sebastian Bormi on 31 each. Nick Casti in 5th on 28, the same as Sam Bird. Hughes, Rast, Da Costa and De Grassi round out the top 10. A vast difference of points paying positions. Lotterer is on 16, Evans is on 14 as well. Would have been more but got taken out by Bird last time out. Look at that there on the board. Roland only on 14. Stoffel Van Dorn, the champion last year, only on 5. Well, it's a party town here in Cape Town. Taco and Porsche lead the way, 101 points, followed by Andretti and Envision, who in a close battle with Neo McLaren. Jaguar 5th, Penske in 6th, Mahindra, Neo, Nissan, Maserati round out. Ouch Cooper still no points on the board. Hello everybody and welcome to round 5 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship in 2023. We are here for the first time ever in Cape Town, South Africa. For the first time since 2019, an FIA event is going to be placed here. For the first time since 1993, we are about to go racing in a single-seater event. I'm Joshua Birch. Joining me in the commentary box today, as always, is Ed Hunter and Tom Dillon back for this event. And I've got to say, Tom, thank you very much for streaming this event with the fancy new graphics on the other side. I really love them. So I'll start with you, Tom, as well. Coming into today, we've seen some interesting running so far this season, especially in Diriyah. What are you expecting to happen? Because it's a fast-flowing circuit, and I think crashes. What about you?
Well, we saw no end to the crashes in qualifying, didn't we, Josh? And seeing the crashes into the race is something I expect. I was surprised that Porsche weren't going to actually carry through the dominance that they showed in Diriyah. I'm surprised that they haven't really been able to string that together, but perhaps a little bit more of an interesting showing from them today. No Mahindra, says Nikki N1 in chat. Yes, indeed. No Mahindra, no Apt, and no Sam Bird on the grid this afternoon.
Yeah, Ed, coming to you as well. I mean, Turn 9 has been a crash fest weekend as well. Sebastian Buemi crashed there yesterday in free practice 1, the front of the car lifting up. Then here today as well, we've seen Mortara go in on the dust, losing it wide, hitting the wall, and Bird having a similar moment, losing it, and then whacking into Mortara, who was still there. The Tech Pro is on the inside of the barrier, not along the concrete wall. I mean, Formula E safety has been questionable the past couple of seasons, but the brakes seem to be causing problems with Apt now being out of it, the tyre walls. Does FIA Formula E really care about safety? I mean, what's going on? There's so many problems.
Yeah, well, I think there's 2 issues here. There's one is the track itself, which was changed, I believe, about a week before the race. I think it might have even been on the Thursday that the race sort of leaked that they were... Because originally it was supposed to be a chicane, actually, at turn 9, a second chicane, because obviously there's one at sort of turns 4, 5, and 6, I think, a bit earlier in the lap. And essentially, they changed it, and that's made it a much more dangerous corner, especially on exit, as we saw with Buemi yesterday, and with Mortara and Bird. It was sort of 2 separate incidents, but the Bird one in particular, he didn't have any yellow flag or any kind of warning. There was an incident ahead of him, and then Scott Elkins panicked, called for a red flag when he saw Mortara crash, and he did that while Bird was in the middle of the corner, which he said distracted him completely and just made him lose the rear. Because
safety creating.
Well, I think also the other thing is that with the yellow flag is that we saw that at Hyderabad as well, that there was a lot of debris on track. No real, there were a couple of yellow flags, but not in the sort of quantity that they needed to be, especially when we had Mortara's front wing flopping around. He didn't get flagged in. It fell off right in front of Andre Lotterer. And then later in the race, we had a bit debris hit Jake Hughes's wing mirror, knocked it into the cockpit, and it was sort of hanging in the cockpit, got stuck in the wheel and caused him to crash out, and that caused a safety car. So it feels a little bit like the race stewards have been, rather than trying to prevent incidents, they've sort of been reacting to them. And I feel like race direction should be always more preventative rather than just reactive, in my opinion. Just because if you're just reacting to things after they've happened, then you're basically in damage limitation mode, which sometimes you have to be, obviously. But I think a better mindset is basically risk management and risk assessment rather than just sort of, oh no, everything's gone wrong, let's turn the tap off, essentially, or whatever. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
It has resulted in Sam Bird not taking the start of this EPrix. We'll look to, when we cross over to the main graphics at the top of the hour, we'll show you the starting grid as well. But what I can tell you is that row 11 and row 10 and the first number on row 9 is not going to be there. The two Mahindras have withdrawn from the event after a suspected brake problem at the rear of the car.
It was suspension, wasn't it?
Suspension, yeah, rear suspension brake and brakes as well for the Andretti's, also the Schaefflers as well. They're having problems out there.
I think it's Abt Cupra. They used to be Abt Schaeffler, so third time lucky there. There we go.
Third time. And of course, we've got problems coming in for Sam Bird, who has had too much damage to repair the car in time. So he's out. The two Andretti's are out. The two Mahindras are out as well. So that now means we have 17 cars on the grid, but it's a question about Eduardo Mortara. I haven't seen him yet down in the grid, as you can hear in the background, the ad break coming, which is unfortunate, but we'll have to put up with it for 2 minutes. So I'll mute my mic, and Ed, you can talk us through about this problem that's going to be coming in with the Andretti's and the Apps as well not being in. Rear brake problems. Yeah, it's been a problem with this generation of car a lot, hasn't it?
A little bit. I have a feeling it's to do with the chicane, because obviously it's the rear suspension. So essentially, from what I understand, because I haven't really gone into a lot of detail, they said they're going to take it back to the UK and sort of analyze why it's happening. But what's essentially happened is that the rear suspension can't take the load through turn 9, or they're worried that it will fatigue at some point during the race. And so that's an issue on all of the Mahindra powered cars, because they all use the same sort of rear suspension setup with the they've got the same powertrain in the back, so it's the same weight they're dealing with essentially with the and the same construction for the motor inverter and the gearbox, of course. So the suspension is what sort of the gearbox is mounted on, I believe, and it sort of makes sense. It's a sort of Indianapolis 2005 sort of situation, but instead of the tires, it's the rear suspension essentially. And we've seen what happens when the rear suspension can go in. Some of the early Formula E seasons. I remember Buenos Aires. There was in the first season. There were loads of people who just the rear suspension was destroying itself, and that was when we had a spec car at the sort of final chicane there. And in more memorable examples like Kimi Räikkönen in Formula One, where his tire let go, just caused these huge vibrations, and he went off at turn 1 on I think the final lap of the race because he got a lockup and flat spot his tire. That was it, and that was what caused the rear suspension to fall apart, or front suspension in that case. Sorry. So that's really what I mean. It's a big shame for Abt as a customer team. They couldn't really do anything, and Mahindra as well. Thank goodness that didn't happen in Hyderabad, because I think there would have been a riot. But in Cape Town, it's really the Kelvin van der Linde fans that are the big ones that miss out. But as I said on the McLaren Nemo account, there is a positive, and that is that Lucas Di Grassi's not in the race.
Here's the grid then, as we were promising to show you. This is how they line up then for round 5 of the ABB FAA Formula E World Championship here in Cape Town, South Africa. Beautiful view of the sea that surrounds this amazing racetrack as well. Built, as you said, Ed, in just under a couple of weeks. It's just been changed around. It's a 2.921 kilometre circuit as well. A total of 12 corners. The 4, 5, and 6 chicane as well goes round the roundabout. It's going to be very entertaining to see what action we see there. Turn 9 as well has been the crunch point literally this weekend. As well, the pit lane here goes straight on. That's where attack mode is at the exit at turn 12 on the last corner. The pit lane here, straight line, with then a little bit of an interesting one you can see on the track map. It goes inside itself and literally rumbles round as a normal hairpin. Here's the starting grid then for round 5 of the season, from back to front as well. Eduardo Mortara starts 17th of the grid on row 9 as well. Row 8 in 16th position, it's Sergio Sete Camara. Andre Lotterer starts 15th on the grid as well. A poor qualifying from him being pushed to the back. Penalty for Jake Dennis sees him start 14th as well. Jake Hughes goes up into 13th position. Then we get Stoffel Van Dorn in 12th. Alongside him is Antonio Felix da Costa on the 6th row of the grid. Row 5, Rene Rast in 10th position. Norman Nato starts 9th on the grid. Then on row 4, Dan Tinctum starts in 8th. Sebastian Buemi touched the wall in his fast run in the quarterfinals, puts him down on the 4th row. Row 3 sees Pascal Verlaine, the championship leader, start in 6th position. Jean-Eric Verne, the winner last time out in Hyderabad, is 5th. Row 2 sees Mitch Evans start in 2nd on the 4th in position as well on row 2 alongside Nick Cassidy. Front row of the grid, Maximilian Gunther, the first ever career pole position as well for Sasha Fenestraz as well.
It looks like Mortara is going to start from the pit lane, Josh.
So Mortara will start, but from the pit lane as well. Second, says Maximilian Gunther. That's correct on the grid as well. Sasha Fenestraz starts on pole position. Tom, we haven't heard from you in a while. I know you've been busy controlling the stream. Race 1, turn 1. It's a very unusual lap here as well. They're having to start off the formation grid as well. We're off track for some of the grid slots. Turn 1, however, fast sweeping. And then we've got like a downhill bobsleigh section similar. But turn 1 hairpin, 90-degree right with a bad barrier. We're going to be in for a very interesting run.
It's going to be one of those races that we see often in Formula E when you've got these sort of smushed together, bodged together street circuits where we see difficulty in overtaking a problem for these guys. And I think it's going to be one of them where the race is won and lost in attack mode.
Oh, there were all the team principals watching on as well. The grid slots getting ready. Anticipation, nerves beginning to rise up as well. It's round 5 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. 13 laps ahead of us. The first race here in Cape Town. 3 lights, 4 lights, all 5 lights are on. Long hold before they're let loose in Cape Town. Great start for Mitch Evans as well. He's going to cut across.
Ooh,
look at that.
Cassidy.
Cassidy. And right around the outside, Gunther's going to hold on for 2nd position. Into turn 1, the 90-degree left we were worried about. It looks like they're all going to get through. From the back, though, that's Jake Hughes tapping the back of, I believe, that's Norman Nato. Head down the hill once again towards turn 2 and 3, towards the 5, 6 chicane. Fenestraz leads, Gunther 2nd, Cassidy 3rd, Evans 4th, Verne in 5th. And it's just dust around, but it's a good start, Ed. And up on the inside from the back, Tinctum's trying to go for an inside lunge.
Yeah, that's Tinctum fighting with Rene Rast there, but I thought for certain that Nick Cassidy was going to get pinched into the wall there by Gunther, and he just about left enough space, so fair play by Maximilian.
Trying to go around the outside there, that's Stoffel Van Dorn and Jay Dennis. Tom Dennis as well, qualified down in 14th position, hasn't moved up a single grid spot yet. He's still down there.
And he sandwiched there in with Andre Lotterer, his teammate. No moves just yet for those guys.
What was Dennis's penalty
position.
for? Oh!
Oh, dear, huge crash.
That's
da Costa. That's da Costa just went straight into the back of Buemi there.
No, it's Verlaine.
It's the championship leader. It's happened and he's got a broken front left suspension. The championship leader is out of the race on the opening lap. He hit the back of Sebastian Buemi, and to coin a phrase, it's happened immediately.
Oh, thank goodness I didn't vote Verlaine to win then. I went for Nick Cassidy. But wow, that is absolute heartbreak. I think he just got too late on the brakes there. I wonder if that was maybe the throttle issue that we saw in FP1 at Hyderabad. Remember where he just went straight in the wall?
Yeah.
And it could, I have a feeling that might have been what happened there, because that didn't seem like a very Verlaine. It didn't feel like a driver error there unless he locked up heavily. But also you got to feel for Buemi there being taken out through no fault of his own.
Well,
so Dennis didn't score any points last time out in Hyderabad, and now Verlaine's not going to score any points here. Let's listen and see if we can. I think we have. There's still a yellow flag out there. He's still stuck. This might require a safety car. It's a full course yellow that has been deployed at the side of the track. And the timing screen is yet to update to FSC as that's Gunther passing Fenestrals, and then turn 9, they all come scrounging to a halt as the full course yellow is officially called. That was almost a major impact for nearly several
Well,
of
they
the
have
cars.
to sort that out, won't they? Because
Yeah.
here we go.
Oh, hang on, that's Mortara stopped. Mortara stopped on the track. Where's he? He's down at turn 4, 5, and 6. So Mortara's come to... Has he lost the rear? Is that a brake failure like we saw back in Mexico?
No, he's gone in the middle of the chicane, so he's missed the chicane effectively and stopped in the runoff.
Oh. Tom, I feel like I cut you off with that, so I'll throw it back to you.
Well, I was just going to say that I think Pascal Wehrlein there feeling a little bit homesick for his former team Mahindra, wanted to show solidarity, and so he's broken his suspension as well. But it's frustrating, and that
He's
Mortara
broken the front though, Tom.
Well, yeah.
I said daddy on tour. I was just thinking, thank goodness there wasn't a baby on board during that one.
No.
Here we go. Let's take a look at it. So, Buemi actually outbrakes himself as well.
So
He
that's
was
Van
doing well
Dorn
back.
just ahead of
Yeah.
Buemi, isn't it?
Yeah,
Or was it Vern actually? No, it was Vern, wasn't it?
Vern ahead of Buemi in 5th, and that's Danny on tour with Verline.
So I think that was a mistake from Verline then, maybe.
It's totally Wehrlein's
where he just
fault,
didn't
I think.
react in time.
Totally Wehrlein's fault. I mean, if you have a look at it, he's just misjudged his braking point. He's locked up both the fronts. Actually,
Safety car.
the safety car gets deployed.
Yeah.
I say it's Pascal Wehrlein's fault. I mean, whether he jumped on the brakes too late or, in fact, he had a braking problem, I'm not too sure. But that can happen sometimes. You're going into one of the first real braking zones of the circuit. You haven't warmed up your brakes correctly, and you end up going into the back of someone. But Buemi is on board with him. He's got a radio. I'm not too sure. I know we can't hear the car sounds at the moment, so I'm not sure.
You
if
can.
we can hear the...
I'm hearing them.
Yes, we're not.
Okay, well, you let us know what Buemi said then.
I'm hearing the sounds in the background. Is they coming over my microphone at all?
No, not
A
unfortunately.
little
Well,
bit now
it's
and
like the
again.
tiniest bit, but it's
We'll have to see if they're on stream or not at the end, because that's the important thing. Doesn't
There.
matter whether me
Yes.
and Tom can hear anything. But there,
Oh,
look
hello.
at poor Pascal with his bent front wheel being. They're trying to get him out of the harm's way, and that's why they've had to go for safety car. But still, Maximilian Gunfer
Yeah.
in the lead of the race. So are they saying Fenestrauss maybe reacted too early to the full course yellow being deployed? Because there was a big bunch behind as well with Cassidy, Evans,
Yeah.
and Vern.
Yeah, they were all worried about it. I've turned up the volume a little bit, so hopefully you can hear something there along the tracks. But yeah, they were all really worried about it. So Gunther ahead of Fenestrauss. They've got to change that surely, because
And that's Mortara out as well, so they couldn't get it started again.
that full course yellow came out bang on time, as we saw it on the stream here. So surely they've got to give him the place back. Can you hear anything now if I can be quiet?
Slightly hear the commentary, but only slightly. It's no, we definitely can't hear the crowd noises, which is.
So I think Mortara's issue from his crash must have been a bit more terminal then, because they didn't see him have any contact. He just trundled out the pits and then came to a stop at the chicane.
What are we looking at a replay of here? Super
This is
wide
the
angle.
start of the race.
Okay.
Because it's a sort of curved straight, so they're going for an arty angle here. And there you just saw how close as well Gunfer and Cassidy got at turn 2 there, effectively. And Cassidy did have the inside, but it would have been really, really risky because that's a sort of constant left-hander. And Gunfer could have just held the throttle on the outside, and the two could have come together. So I think that was very discretion, the better part of valor for Nick Cassidy.
And Tom as well. I mean, they did get through at least a couple of corners before an accident as well. Now we're going to go into added laps as well later. This is all turn number 1. They're all tripping over each other as well, but there's a few pumping and calling of carbon fibre, but they all just about make it through okay.
Just about. So I can hear muffled car noises ever so slightly. Not here on board.
I can hear the
Pascal
music
Wehrlein.
in the background. Which
Yes.
is, I guess, good.
Not here on board with
We're
Pascal.
getting there. We're getting there.
We're getting there. But anyway, it's okay. You can imagine on the YouTube stream, it's not a huge thing. There are only
Well, this
Formula
is
E
what
cars
happens when you're trying to cover testing at the same time as the Formula E.
around the
Never
outside.
again.
when
F1
Wehrlein
testing is clearly as important as this.
is now as they go down
To be
through.
fair, I should have put Megan in here. Go on.
I was going to say as they went down through it, Cape God of Speed on board this particular car around the outside. He went. I think this is one of
I
the.
think it's
Porsches.
Cape of Good Speed. It's a play on words of Cape of Good Hope.
Oh,
As,
it is.
Look at is that Norman Nato's front winglet just hanging out a bit loose there, so he got a little bit crunched at the start as DaCosta overtook him there.
Safety car still back in the field. I've dropped my red pen, which annoys me, so I'm going to swap to a purple one.
Oh, yeah, well, you can't be too precious about colours when it comes to a Formula E race.
There's the accident once again, but Remy nearly hitting the back of Vern, and then as he got out of the way, I think it spooked Verline, and that's why he just locked up the brakes, overreacting, and hit it. So can you hear anything? I want to see the cars, and then we can see if the audio is working again as they come through. Now that we adjusted things ever so slightly, I mean, to me, all I'm hearing is myself like really bad. So am I sounding okay to you lot on the stream?
Yes, I think
apart from your throat sounding absolutely
only-
terrible, Josh, you sound great.
the only issue.
Oh yeah,
we've got-
I'm having to keep my volume down a little bit, otherwise it overpowers the mic.
The only
enough.
issue we've got, Josh, is that we can hear a slight hum of the commentary on the stream. So of the
that's
TV
right.
commentary.
Yeah.
So not the
Yeah.
cars, though. We cannot hear the cars.
Well, at the moment,
That's
we
all.
can't actually hear we're not actually seeing the cars at the moment
Well,
because the TV director has become a nature documentarist.
when we're on
Well, I
board,
noticed
anyway,
they've
we
been
can't- we
filming
can't
the
listen to
locals,
hear them.
which is nice to see a lot of fans here at Cape Town as well. Actually, I think it was the same in Hyderabad as well. It was great.
Yeah,
to
a
see
lot
them.
of fun.
It's great because this is another part of the world that doesn't get to see too much FIA World Championship level motorsport.
And yet you say that there has been a little bit of
Here we go. Can you
not
hear?
hearing. Not really. We heard like a slight squeal, but nothing really.
That is the
other than-
cars. They are the cars. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
no, is it?
The
But it's
squeals
like
are the cars.
you
okay.
can't.
Yeah.
We can't actually hear it. Is my point. It's like muffled and inconsistent.
I'll be fine.
What did Pascal say?
I didn't hear.
Well, nobody can hear it, so what's the point?
We can't. Well, I can hear the track audio, and sometimes it breaks through. We'll leave it. It's fine. It's fine. Safety cars in this lap anyway. We're going to go racing to see.
Well,
if
let's
that's
just
gonna
get
have
on
a
with
good
it
look.
then.
Yeah. So it's going to come in. Where are they at the moment? They're coming
And
through.
Gunther still, they're just saying Gunther is going to be allowed to keep the lead then. So if I was Fenestraz, I'd be a bit ticked off about that. I'd be calling for a penalty for Maserati, but they'll be saying, oh, well, we reacted in time, you reacted too early.
He did that on lap 3, didn't he, as well? We're now on lap 5 of the race, so...
I hope that's not going to go down as the move of the race.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much single file at the moment. Well, we started with 22 when we came in. We lost 3, but we lost 4, 5 even before the start of the race. Now we've lost 1 on the start. Once again, it's green flag and away we go. And can we actually see the cars, Mr. Director? You're really annoying today. Away we go. Gunther, Fenestraz, Cassidy, Evans, Vern, Rust, Tinktum, all coming through as they come down towards turn number 1 again, past the control line. On the brakes. And no one wants to go for a move. Nato was a little bit too close there for comfort. Nearly had a go at the back of DaCosta. Apart from that, everyone stays line astern. But Fenestraz is wanting his lead back. That was taken away from him quite controversially by race control, throwing the virtual safety car at the wrong time.
I think it was Gunther that took it away. Well, I think race control called the safety car for full course yellow for everyone, and then the safety car at the same time. And I think it was literally just maybe what Maserati will argue is that Gunther reacted in time and that he was under no obligation to give the place back to Fenestraz. Everyone else behind sort of stopped immediately and didn't overtake one another, so they'll probably be kicking themselves that they didn't do what Gunther did. Here we go, some team radio.
I think Gunther's incident involving Bohemian Verline under investigation causing a collision. I think Gunther's being told to give the position back. They're talking about it, I believe, over the radio. At the moment, I can only hear the car noises. I can't hear any of the other team radio because I'll be hearing Jack Nichols, which is a disadvantage.
We'll make up our own team radio.
Yeah. Gunther, you've been a very naughty boy, and please let Sasha back through. Boemi and Sete Camera have taken attack mode. They've chose option 1, which is to take 1 minute first, then later they'll have 3 minutes again. And Evans is on the back of Cassidy as they come down the hill as well. He can look for a move. He's looking very plumbed in, isn't he, at the moment? As the LED lights are on for Evans, saying he's in attack mode, but in fact, some of them are. They're not in attack mode. They're in
well, it
full
could be that
power.
he's using a higher power mode. So sort of instead of the full 300, he's on 250 at the moment, is it? Or is it 300 and then 350? It's 300 max and then 350 with the attack mode, isn't it?
Look at that. So Cassidy's at over 200 kilometers an hour. Evans, he must be on a higher power, 230 on that Jaguar powertrain as well, compared to the Envision as they scream.
Well, it's the same powertrain.
So how on earth Jaguar's having more? They must have taken a few things coming through. I can't look at that, Megan. You've sent me on WhatsApp, and I don't have access to my WhatsApp. So think about it, Megan. As Evans is under investigation for overpower. So we were just saying about a higher power mode, and now he's under investigation for a higher power mode. Fabulous.
I don't know. I think
like
Hewitt's inquiry after the race deciding things, Josh, is probably anything but fabulous. This is what happened to Buemi last time out, what happened to Tictum in Mexico, isn't it? Where there was a spike on the thing, on the powertrain, on the data, but it doesn't really give any kind of discernible advantage. And Evans, funnily enough, has drawn out while he was challenging Cassidy a few moments ago. He's now dropped off the back of him slightly, which is a little kind of interesting in the context of that message.
So Dennis and Lotta have taken 2 minutes of attack mode, so they've gone for the 2-2 strategy. Van Dorn's taken the 1 minute, so he's on strategy number 1. Rast is closing in on Vern once again as they come through. Tom, what are you making of the race so far?
Well, I was trying, actually. I'm going to be honest with you, Josh. I was trying to find a solution so you can hear the radio on stream. I have got a solution, so I am going to sort that out in just a moment's time. It will be ever so slightly delayed, and you guys won't be able to hear it, unfortunately, but the viewers will. So I'll relay back what I hear. But no, I think this is an interesting race so far. It's going to be interesting to see how the two strategies of attack mode start to develop. As there we go, another taker for the attack mode, and it's Jean-Luc Verne this time, as does Dan Tictum take it.
Megan's lost her timing screen on the one she's looked at on the T feed, so I just told her to refresh it on the map book. Look at that. So as you say, Tom Verne takes it. Gun Tictum 2, second 2 minutes. Dennis taken 1 for 2. Well, that's Hughes and Van Dorn over 9th and 10th at the moment, isn't it? Guns's on the radio. I think you might be able to hear it if Tom just tell me when to shut up and I'll be quiet.
Hope you didn't talk through the whole radio message, Josh, when you see it pop up. But
It's going to be delayed anyway because basically the solution I've got is to get it off.
This is like more like F1 team radio then.
Get it off. Get it. We'll ignore the Gunter one because I'm still trying to get it set up. Basically, I've got it on my monitor with the.
We're seeing a replay then of the full course year being called.
Oh, Gunter jumped it.
Yeah, it looks like a slam dunk to me.
Yeah, that's got to be a penalty.
Unless the only thing that I think could save Gunther is if Fenestraz reacted too early. And there we go, Fenestraz into attack mode, as is Evans. So that's the first of the big hitters. And Jev, I think, was in to just come out of his as well.
Rast is on the back. Oh, look at that. Evans has taken 3 minutes of the attack mode. So he's on the third and final strategy. 3 minutes now, then a minute later on in the race.
And crucially, Evans ahead of Rene Rast, so he's not going to be held up by him, whereas Verne is a little bit here. Because Verne has used his and Rast hasn't.
Trying to push and pull as well as they come through. Drive-through penalty for Mitch Evans for overpower. So Evans, who's just taken the attack mode, won't have the party, I'm afraid. He's been given a drive-through penalty. And look for the pack as well. Who was that making moves?
That was...
I think it was Van Dorn trying to go to the inside of Hughes, and Hughes was defending like mad. Look at the energy we've on screen now as well. 73% for Gunther, 75 for Cassidy, 73 apiece. And the TV director showing us useless images as well of the city here because we need... Look, get off! We've got battles on the track! Show the action!
It's really hard to fly a helicopter and film it, the race at the same time, Josh. As Gunther going into attack mode.
And Cassidy too. Cassidy takes the lead. So Fenestraz has gone through. There it is. Fenestraz.
Oh, side by side.
Gunther's going to be forced off. Cassidy's on. Fenestraz almost into the wall. And still, Gunther stays ahead. That's really going to annoy Fenestraz. Really going to annoy him.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's going to try again quite soon. But there we go. About the same amount of attack mode for both of them. So Nick Cassidy now, he's really got to pick his moment well. And wait for these two to run out, build a gap, and then I think go into attack mode. That's probably the best strategy here. And hopefully my pick to win is gonna pull it off here.
Tom, have you got anything?
I've got the radio sorted out, so you'll be happy to hear that. Essentially, I've got the Channel 4 website up, so I can.
And there's Evans serving his penalty, which is it's a bit of luck for Mitch Evans. He seems to have, if he didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck, wouldn't he?
But essentially, yes, we've got the team radio now. It will be slightly delayed, so I'll just play it on the stream when as and when I get it, and I'll let you know what is said.
Use the times too. Then it's as live. Catch up. Use times two.
It's not on YouTube. It's on the website, so I can't.
I see. Okay. No worries. Fair point. On board then. We've lost all track audio at the moment because the onboards never have that. Now we get it back. As we come off board, Cassidy is on lap 12. Cassidy leads. Gunther second. Fenestraz is third. Rast is fourth. Verne fifth. DaCosta sixth. Tictum seventh. Hughes eighth. Van Dorn 9th, Dennis in 10th position as well. So basically, that's the points. Now fighting, Nato, Lotto, Baromi, Cassidy 11th. There's 15 cars. They're all bunched up together. Here's Cassidy on the radio, so there's a little bit delayed. So Tom will just have to tell us when to be quiet. And just cut over us, Tom, as well. Lotto out 1 minute 30. Baromi on there too as they try and come up. And they're still pushing like mad out here.
Yeah, and Dennis gets into... Oh, no, that's just the commentary. I thought one of you was trying to interrupt me. That's the actual TV commentary I'm hearing.
We've got the radio
just ever so slightly.
And we don't, apparently, because nothing was said on that radio. But anyway, there we go.
Right, okay.
There we go. Well, I was just going to say about Dennis getting into the top 10 there. Absolutely crucial for him to score some points here. And Cassie continuing to build the gap as Ras goes into attack mode. It comes out behind Jev, I think.
And Dennis on attack mode too. He was in 10th position, so they're trying to push it on as they come back through.
Yeah, McLaren making good progress in this race, to be honest, with both cars in the top 10 now, or top 8 rather.
If you guys are okay, I'm going to open up the timing screen on Megan's iPad. Can you still see? Yeah, can you still see everything, by the way? On your feeds. It's all good. Can you see it?
Yeah, on the phone, it's all fine for me, Josh.
Cool, because Megan needs my iPad because her timings have gone wrong.
Okay.
So I'm getting there. So
that's the only thing to keep track of in pre-season testing, so that's understandable. That looked like Hughes almost going a bit wide into one of the corners there.
Second time he's done that, Ed, as well. That's the second time. He was off earlier on. Actually, we never get to see each other usually, so this is new. Second time he's done that.
Yeah, well, usually we're trying to watch the race as well at the same time, so it's a little bit distracting. But not for our viewers at home, of course, who viewers at home. Well, I don't know where they're watching this. Could be anywhere in theory. But anyway, Cassidy sets best lap 1:10.2, I think, is his best
Who's
lap.
that? That's DaCosta, and Fenestraz is up into second. Gunther's taking attack mode, and he's running over now to Verne as well. In towards turn number 1, and they just make it through. Here comes René Rast. Rast is on attack mode too. He's got 30 seconds left. Cassidy's taken another one too. He's taken a 3-minute attack mode. Fenestraz hasn't. Gunther's taken 3 minutes too. Rast has taken 1. DaCosta 3. Hughes on 1 minute 30, so he's taken 2. Van Dorn 3. Dennis took a minute. Sete Camera took 3, and Evans just taken a minute now.
Yeah, absolutely crucial for Cassidy to come out in the lead after that attack mode.
Was Tom telling us to shush? I can't remember.
Sort of. I mean, the radio did pop up, but again, it's Nick Cassidy having like a word or two that I can't actually hear because he's very quiet in my ear. But anyway, yeah, I think it was like 2 words. It wasn't anything important. It just got played underneath. He finished on radio.
Hughes in trouble because he just lost 2 places there to Van Dorn and Dennis.
There was some form of slide, wasn't it? We saw.
He must have just collected himself through turn 9 as well. It's the danger corner that he's had some trouble there.
Yeah.
But he's in one piece for the most part, so I guess that's something to be thankful for.
Pushing and pulling. This is actually quite a quick race, even with added time that we've got coming later. Tickton takes it. 2 minutes to Tickton.
Yeah, so this is a race really of survival for those, and there's a big chance of points for the likes of Tickton, who might not normally be in sort of the top 7 or so, thanks to all the Sam Bird and the Mahindra Power cars disappearing.
Rastin's got the radio on, so we'll hear that in around about 30 seconds' time as well. Tom will just have to... I can barely hear Tom when he tells me to shush, so I do apologise. I'm talking over the radio.
I have to react quite quickly as well.
So we're going to see what happened here.
Oh, he locked up. Nearly hit the wall.
It's what I saw earlier. Awful. My goodness me. And Van Dorn squeezes through, and I think Dennis is about to breeze through as well. But we cut away from the replay. And Fenestraz now challenging Cassidy, despite Cassidy being in attack mode, and Fenestraz isn't.
Pushing really hard.
Fortunately, not able to hear Rust's radio again, because once we have got it, they're not actually talking for some reason. They're not saying anything on the radio, which is very interesting. But anyway, unless you guys on the YouTube can in fact hear it, in which case, there we go. I'll turn my headphones up, and we'll see if I can actually hear something next time we get
can't,
this.
and they're blaring.
Yeah, we got a race to commentate on, guys. We can't be messing about with this stuff.
I've just realised I've been suffering with hearing. I haven't turned my headphones up a little bit, so that's why. As they come through, different commentary boxes.
Very
different
surprised,
streams.
by the way, at the 9/10 gap now between Fenestraz and Gunther. So Fenestraz and Cassidy have sort of made a bit of a break for it at the moment. And Fenestraz, if anything, looking a bit held up by Cassidy here.
Yeah, Cassidy's on the attack mode still. He's just about to run out. 3, 2, 1. So Cassidy's out of the attack mode
I
now.
wonder if Nick Cassidy made a mistake on the previous lap because Fenestraz really closed in on him.
He's still there with him.
And Fenestraz has still got his attack mode later on. So if he can get out without losing position to Gunther, then this could work really well strategically for Nissan. But it's a real risky thing because Gunther is going to be pushing now to close that gap back up in front of him. As we see a random picture-in-picture there of what looked like someone's garage there.
Yeah, that was
not on the
bizarre.
team's garage, just someone's garage.
Well, somebody's doing a bit of spying on the F1 TV directions, it seems, as Rast has taken a bit of attack mode, and that is Vern taking 3 minutes, and Rene Rast is coming up alongside him in towards turn number 1 as well.
And that puts DaCosta into the top 4 as well. So DaCosta's he's just set fastest lap as well. He's been slowly clawing his way up the order. So the Porsche, still really a car to have, and it really shows how costly Verline's error was earlier on, because he was ahead of DaCosta before that happened.
Pushing and pulling as well. That's what they need to do. Fenestraz is after his first ever race win. Cassidy's after his third ever race win. He got 2 last season, of course, as he challenges through. It's such a tight
Cassidy only took 1. He's only taken 1 at New York, isn't he, Nick Cassidy?
Oh, was it only 1? I thought it was 2.
Where did you think the second one happened?
I thought the second one happened in Dewey.
What? No, it didn't. He's never won in Dewey. Well, I wouldn't know because I don't watch Dewey, of course. But from what I've been told, that never happened.
All right. I'll trust you on that one. Look at that. 1.1
my second hand. I can only speak second hand, but it's the most reliable source I got. So
Tom was in Dewey with me. There's Tom. It was Verline all the way, wasn't it, for Porsche? And now he's out all the way.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable, actually. I have now got a more permanent solution for this radio. I can hear Jack Nichols in my ears constantly now, and the viewers can't. So whenever I hear a radio in my ear, I'll just put it on the YouTube stream as well. But anyway, as we get on through this race, it's quite interesting, isn't it? Already lap 18 of 30. This is going along.
We have got a few extra at the end, though, of course. And Vern challenging DaCosta.
He's got the attack mode. He's in the back for 4th position into the 4, 5, 6 chicane area. I don't think he's going to make a way through. No. That's the problem. It's a very fast track, but it's very narrow. We can't get the moves done. We can't get the overtakes.
And it's the old cheetah pairing, isn't it, of Vern and DaCosta. And it looks like Vern has only got another minute left to play with here on his attack mode. So if he's going to make the move on DaCosta, he needs to do it sharp-ish. But I think it's challenging to make overtakes. It's more about mistakes, basically, in strategy here. But you can, down the straights, if you get a decent run into some of these, like turn 10 especially, is a pretty good spot. But everywhere else, it's much more difficult. But we saw it in qualifying. It's really a spectacular circuit at high speed. I think there are a couple of people comparing it to Monza. To me, it more reminds me of the faster sort of circuits like, I don't know, Silverstone or something like that, especially before they added that infield, the loop section at Silverstone. And look how close Vern got in the back there at turn 1.
Vern is all over the back of DaCosta as well. He's got 23 seconds left to make a magic move. I don't think he can make a magic move. He's trying left and right to make it happen.
It'd be interesting to see the percentages, because I think DaCosta could be very strong here. I think Gunther might be under threat quite soon in the next 10 laps or so.
Drive-through penalty for Jake Dennis. He's running in 9th position, trying to close in the points to Pascal Wehrlein. He's not respecting minimum tyre pressure. Now, usually we saw that with the Porsches, Ed and Tom, a couple of years ago. That's usually a penalty, of a disqualification if it's not that. And Lotta is under investigation now for safety car procedure.
Oh dear, so that's terrible news for Andretti. A bit of a double whammy there. But yeah, and this is a replay again of Vern getting really close to the back of the car, almost in the wall there. That's nearly what Jake Hughes did in his group qualifying stage, wasn't it?
There's the confirmation for Dennis's penalty, and Tom will be on it for the radio if he says anything about it as well. But at the moment, there's nothing coming through.
But it always makes it seem like that's Dennis's fault, not respecting minimum tyre pressure. What, did he not get the bicycle pump out on the starting grid himself? Yeah. Well, it's kind of team's responsibility.
It is,
and into the pits he comes.
It is totally a responsibility. We'll get a radio for it in just a moment's time when we get the on the YouTube on the Channel 4 website feed. I'll just cut in and tell you guys to shut up when that does happen. It should only be another 10 seconds or so, and we'll grab that. But no, I think it's such a fundamental mistake for those guys to make, and I don't understand how, as a racing team, you can physically make that mistake, unless it's got something to do with the heat of Cape Town. It's unlike a radio.
For something
Could
in the
be.
safety car
Yeah.
procedure. Here's
Drive
Dennis's
through,
radio.
drive through, serve it now, drive through.
He was telling him drive through, serve it now was the call. And
There's another one coming in 40 seconds from Fenestras.
Yeah, I think it could be that the pressure dropped as the race went on, maybe, and it's not to do with them not understanding quite how the handcooks work. Maybe they were trying to start with lower than normal pressure so that they could improve
Sorry, Ed.
performance.
Fenestras is closing in. Tom will just have to tell me when radio is because he's going yellow.
We're
Turn
about to see a
12.
yellow. Yeah. So something's happened.
Oh,
near
there
the
it
back
is.
there.
It's Gunther.
They're not
Gunther's on
scoring
third
huge
position.
points.
Gunther has to stay as close as possible from Cassidy.
Oh, and Gunther's damaged the
He's broken
car.
the wrist
The rear toe's gone. Yeah, he's
Max
completely
Gunther's
messed.
out. He's hit the wall and he's broken the rear suspension and he's already got a he's just been under investigation now as well for overtook into full course yellow. So it's taken 25 minutes, but now
And,
he's being
he's
told.
desperately trying to find a service road to park up at. But yeah, bitter disappointment for Max Gunther. Leading the race earlier, now it's all gone completely pear-shaped, really. And there could be a penalty for the next race at this rate with the full course yellow that he overtook Fenestras under. And Fenestras still that 2 minutes to play with as well.
It's insult to injury. Where did he hit the wall? Yeah, under braking, whacks the wall down towards the 90-degree turn one with the barrier that sticks out as well like a sore thumb, and he's just broken it.
Yeah, he was trying to do the Robin Fryns there, do the rest of the race with the car crabbing horribly, but you could maybe get away with that in Gen 1, but not in Gen 3.
Full course yellow has. Oh, and who's that?
And it's happened again.
Oh no! I think
Almost.
Cassidy's.
That was
gone for
DaCosta. So DaCosta was somehow. Fenestras
Well, look.
just went into attack mode right as the safety car was.
So did
full course yellow was
Cassidy.
called.
Yeah,
And Cassidy
Cassidy's
as
got
well.
in too. So Cassidy leads the race. DaCosta's gone alongside, but now Fenestras once again has lost positions under a full course yellow. What is going on? It's like they can't count today.
But Fenestras, that was all just terrible luck for Fenestras,
Yeah.
almost for Cassidy as well. In this case, both of them have wasted their attack modes because they went in right as the full course yellow was called, and it's
They
very
won't get
unfortunate.
them-
We just cut from replay right after that happened as well. But
was there a rule that they get cancelled if it happens under this? I don't think they did.
no, there is no rule about that. It's literally because it's the live. You don't get. You wasted your attack mode. Here's
Here we
a
go.
spare one. Here we go.
Yeah. So Cassidy takes it. Fenestras takes it. Scott Elkin's going to be talking. We go back to green. We'll go back to green. Green. And look at that. Great start from DaCosta.
Yeah,
As
DaCosta's
well,
still
trying
got
to
another
get through.
attack mode as well to use. So, and Fenestras
the
desperately
break
trying to get the use out of the last 50 seconds he's got here. So Vern is going to have to defend quite a lot.
The top 7 are separated by 2.8 seconds. They are line astern here in South Africa. As we're on that 22 and 30, added time will be added. So I presume another 2 laps to this race. As Dennis has been given that drive-through time penalty we already knew. Has he served it yet, though? He's under investigation.
He did. He served
Yeah.
it
Yes, he
before
served it.
the full course yellow.
it's total carnage at the moment. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it, even for Formula E standards. This is total carnage, Josh.
It's fantastic, isn't it? We love seeing this as well. We knew we were going to get something here in South Africa. We knew it was going to be different. We knew it was going to be unique. We didn't know how unique it was going to be. As now DaCosta can push. Fenestras is out of attack mode. Up towards turn 1. Cassidy trying to regain the brakes as well. Can't get through. DaCosta's there. Now they're all going to try. It's Fenestras looks around the outside of Vern. Can't get through. This is better than Dijon in 82 or 81 in Spain, as well as with when we had the 5-car run with Villeneuve holding up everybody behind him.
Well, this is sort of reverse for Cassidy because remember
look
when
at that.
Vern was holding them up in Hyderabad, and here comes Fenestras.
Oh, and running into the back of that was Hughes, and that was Tickton running into the back of Rast as well. Hughes is now, where is he on the board? Is he closing in on this battle? Yes, he is closing in on this battle as well. So the 7 car becomes the 8, but when he's closing in, it becomes the 9 as they all start to file through. DaCosta's the only one left in this entire race who's got an attack mode. That might become crucial. As that was DaCosta trying to go for a move on the inside. Didn't think about it. Cassidy goes defensive. DaCosta trying to look down the outside now as well. That's not paying off. Brilliant moves
Yeah, the
here.
problem is DaCosta, if he goes in, he's going to come
Oh.
out behind Vern, and
Lotterer.
5-second time penalty for Lotterer for safety car procedure breach.
Did you say something, Tom?
Yeah, I just said Lotterer because of the 5-second time penalty. It's silly, I think. These guys losing so much time because of a safety car procedure. It's obviously something wrong with the track. There's only one guy on the circuit, by the way, who's got any attack mode left, and it's Antonio Felix da Costa, and he's in second place.
He wants to take that He wants to take the lead of the race, then use it to defend as well. He's constantly pushing now as well.
Cassidy radio.
DaCosta.
Point at turn 10. Here's his radio.
And Jeff have 2% more. You're the same as Sasha.
So he said DaCosta and Jev have got 2% more.
Right.
Okay, that's
so,
good to know because I don't think they've shown any percentages yet.
No, so
but
there it is. Yeah, so 27% for Cassidy, plus 1.7 for DaCosta. So he can't push it. We're closing in. Oh, this has been, I think, one of the fastest EPrix.
oh, here comes DaCosta.
Brilliant move around the outside, coming into turn 9, and DaCosta takes the lead of the Cape Town EPrix.
That was brave
brilliant.
by DaCosta. And
Caught napping
there we
completely.
go. You really need to have a car advantage, and the Porsche really superior to the Jaguar-powered Envision there. And Cassidy with his less energy, there wasn't a whole lot he could do. Now he's got Vern attacking him.
And
Down we
remember-
go. Vern's on the back. Come on, Tom.
Sorry, Josh. Remember, when you've got that extra energy, you can lift off through those medium speed to faster corners. You can just lift off a little bit less, and you can catch the guy ahead of you napping. And that's exactly what DaCosta did there. It was really, really good.
We'll hear from DaCosta in a few moments' time as well, but it is push in the closing stages. 5 to go. Incident involving Gunther will be investigated after the race, and incident involving Buemi and Verline will be investigated after the race. So, as Ed said, there could be penalties. This was DaCosta's move, though, Ed. Superb through turn 9.
Yeah, look at this. So Cassidy is lifting a bit earlier. DaCosta stays on the throttle, keeps his foot in, and
DaCosta
threads the
radio, guys.
needle. And Jeb is through into second.
Radio.
Let me do it. Let me do it.
He's just telling them to let him do it. So he's telling them to shut up, basically.
And as Ed said, Vern takes second position ahead of Cassidy.
He might have
And
done the same thing that DaCosta did as well.
Yeah, we'll need a replay of that while we're seeing a replay of the lead change, because the gap now to cost us 1.3 seconds ahead at the moment as well. So do not leave the room. The last 5 laps or so is going to be absolutely fantastic as DaCosta takes out attack mode.
There we go. Great strategy by Porsche.
Are we going to hear that radio, Tom?
In a moment's time, we will,
See?
just as it gets around to it. But not.
DaCosta missed it! DaCosta missed it! Sorry, DaCosta missed the attack mode. He didn't get it. DaCosta hasn't got it. He never activated. Burnt all over him. And this could be for position. DaCosta didn't get the attack mode in the last corner. He missed the sensors.
It's just like the old days.
That's unlucky of him. This is what happened to
Radio.
Buemi at Hyderabad.
Oh, and he's locked up, coming in, he nearly hits the wall as well. It was
he
so
stays
well
ahead.
saved from DaCosta. Now it's all unraveling for him here.
Didn't catch a word of that radio,
potentially.
I'm afraid. With the it was just so muffled and so quiet. I don't understand why Formula E radio has to be like that. But energy looking pretty safe.
Because they're
across the
probably
board.
because they're quite busy during the race, so their priority is not to speak coherently; it's to just cry of help to the team, I guess.
Help,
But anyway,
help, help.
now DaCosta's got to build a gap again to Jev, and then try
Yeah.
again, and he's got to do it before the end of the race as well. Oh, a bit of smoke
Oh, look up,
behind.
Cassidy, that's Buemi. Buemi locked up. Did he go straight on? I can't see him.
He's still ahead of Hughes, so he's about where he was then.
And there we see, that's Fenestraz on the back of Cassidy trying to make a move. Not going to work out. Now it's all coming down. DaCosta didn't go for the attack mode there because he knows he wouldn't have time to beat it.
Yeah,
Here's a replay of what happened to DaCosta at the attack mode, Ed.
yeah. So it's very small, so I can just about see it, but did
Yeah,
he
missed
turn
the
a little bit
first.
too earlier to the right to try and rejoin closer to the racing line, didn't he, from the exit of attack mode?
Yeah, missed the third and final sensor as well. Tom, is there a radio?
There was a moment ago, but actually the commentators are talking over it, so I can't actually play it because
right.
you can't
But
hear it
they're as
anyway.
bad as us, is what
Yeah, they're
I'm
bad
hearing.
as us.
But
Normal
anyway,
service.
oh, and up comes Dennis past Hughes. Or is that
Dennis-
Lotterer? Sorry. That's Lotterer, sorry. I forgot. Dennis had the
yeah.
penalty. The
Yeah,
drive
lots
through.
of past Hughes as we come through. Normal service will be resumed though for Sao Paulo next month. Although it is the same day as Formula, it's the same day as MotoGP. So I don't know how that. I think it works out okay somehow. It should do.
Probably on a different time. But anyway, not that.
Oh, Costa!
And that's DaCosta going for it. And Vern takes the lead.
Vern leads in Cape Town. DaCosta has to take it, otherwise he would have lost out on the points.
And he's only got a minute left as well. So DaCosta, you got to think Vern could take 2 wins in a row here, and that'd be amazing for his championship as the screen goes
Oh.
very green.
But Vern
And
was
now
just being
Fizz
told.
is
Vern was just being told about how he's got
That's what I
much
was-
better energy than Cassidy. If I heard that correctly in my ears,
Right.
so he's okay. Basically, he's being given the license to go.
Yeah, Fenestrat's looking very close to the back of Cassidy. There's a big train just behind them, really, of several cars all fighting for that podium.
Delighted
So
to say
Cassidy
that
under a lot of threat here.
that wasn't us. The reason Screaming Queen, the Formula E timings have gone off on our world feed pictures that we're looking up here in the commentary box. The race will be extended by 2 laps, so I did get it right. So it's a 32-lap race. I'm getting good at this after Mexico.
Yes. Yeah, Mexico, we got it very, very wrong, didn't we?
Yeah. It was 5 when it should have been. I said it was 3.
It was
and
quite
didn't.
entertaining, and because there wasn't too much to get excited about at the very, very front of that race. So
Yeah.
that did make it a bit more interesting.
Unlike here, where there's a constant stream of cars, as DaCosta now, without that attack mode, is right on the back. Will Jean-Eric Verne make it 2 in a row after winning in Hyderabad? Can he win here in Cape Town? And this is how he did it.
Well, that was because DaCosta went to attack mode. Yeah, so Verne just had to stick to the racing line, as I think DaCosta has run out of attack mode now. So it's going to come down to energy. They're all very, very similar. 11% for the top 4. We've had, 4 or 5 different leaders now, haven't we, in this race? Because we've had
Fenestras, Gunther,
5,
Cassidy, DaCosta, Verne.
Yeah, 5 then. That is pretty crazy.
One of them, that was Tictum, trying to have a look on the inside of Rene Rast, and Fenestras is right in the back of Cassidy. He can't win today. He at least wants that podium taken away for Nick. But Verne, with this, Verne moves into contention with the championship. Verline being out is the best thing that could have happened to put this championship closer again. Because now if Verne, whatever he does here, he's going to be closing in dramatically. 18
Yeah, and
points.
DaCosta too. Remember, DaCosta was on the podium as well post-race. So it's effectively the same podium at the moment as Hyderabad, but in the second and third swapped over.
Well, we'll give it 5 minutes and then it might change. Lap 29 of 32. We've got extended by 2 laps here in
Cassidy
Hyderabad.
is well and truly dropped off the back of DaCosta. 3 seconds now.
In Hyderabad, the Cape Town. See how much the new commentary box throws me? My backup one.
Yeah, just hold on to your towel, Josh, because we've got 2 more laps to go. I think Verne might be able to do a repeat.
That's what that is. Yeah, it's a coat rack as well, holding it up, and a fan lead, so that's us holding it up. Green screen is going to be incoming soon. Anyway,
I wonder if DaCosta's going to be kicking himself for missing that attack mode after the race, because I think that's what's opened the door for Jev here. And look at that, Fenestras through.
Fenestras up into 3rd position. Cassidy goes down as well, and Rast wants to get through on that procedure as well. You can see him in the McLaren going through, but Cassidy's sort of woken up. He's still in the mix as well. I think everyone from 3
woken
to
up. He's just been overtaken. Oh, look at this. He's still trying to slipstream Fenestras, and this could get very messy into turn 9.
Look at how much
And
of a gap they've
DaCosta's still on
pulled
the
at the
back
top.
of Vernon, Tom. Go on, Tom.
Look at the gap that they've pulled. DaCosta and Verne, they're so far ahead of the rest of the pack. They've basically got total license to fight this out. They don't need to worry about people behind them.
At the back. Look at that. There's a bit of carbon fibre flying up in the air as well from somebody in plate as well that got spat up. I think it came from added laps now getting into flourish. And it's DaCosta trying around the outside towards turn number 1. He does the dummy, trying to come on the inside line. Doesn't work. Oh, Verne is giving it everything to defend today from DaCosta.
Yeah, here we go. I think DaCosta might be able to force Verne into a situation where he runs out of energy here, because he's clearly
4%.
got a more efficient car here and a quicker car at this phase of the race.
Here we go.
As a result, so Verne is just going to have to stick to the middle of the road.
Yeah, Verne's going to have to keep him dead centre because DaCosta's got plus 2% now, plus 3% more than him as well. More points, that is. Verne's lifting, DaCosta's not. Around the outside, not going to work here to turn 7 as well. You're going to have to push it hard on the run up towards 8 and 9. And he is so far close as well. DaCosta pulls to the outside. He moves left, moves right as well. Goes up the dust. He does it again to turn 9. Does he get through? A fantastic move from DaCosta at the deadliest part of the track. 3 accidents there. He makes the move for the lead. Fantastic!
Well, he made that much harder than he needed to, didn't he? But he's back in the lead. Finally, as that looks like Cassidy defending from Rene Rast, as Fenestras is now starting to pull clear and catch up to Verne, actually.
Was that a yellow and orange flag, guys?
Yeah, I think that's the debris that got flown up as well. So it's on the racing line, so they've put the slippery surface out.
Look how close DaCosta got to the inside wall there. So Jeb left him just enough room, but no more than that.
That was utter balls from DaCosta to send it up there, because you were right so close to the wall.
And these guys
It's still
are coming together.
It's a good thing those two are teammates, because for so long without crashing into each other too many times, because they kind of know each other, don't they, very well.
Last lap. This is, ironically enough, guys, this has taken less than 40 minutes, so the lap system would have worked there as well. DaCosta having to go defensive as well. Vern's looking left and right. That's going to leave Da Costa a bit vulnerable as well. He's moving again. Further back into the wall. Fenestrauss hit the wall. Cassidy's to third. Fenestrauss hit the wall. Fenestrauss is in the wall at the back of turn 9. Cassidy and Rast and Buemi go through. A good weekend turns sour. Da Costa's having to lift up. He goes defensive. Vern's looking left and right. Into turn 10. Round the outside. Can't get through. Da Costa's trying all his might. They've only got 0.4, 0.3, 0.2. It's happening again with the counting of energy. Here comes Cassidy and Rast. 0.2 towards the line. Vern's right there too. It's in zero. So is Vern. And they're both pushing at the line. Da Costa from Vern, Cassidy. And I think Rust might have won it because they all hit zero at the line. And they were definitely still full throttle. Da Costa across the line.
Da Costa is saying
Rust
had
has won it.
0.1 left. That's Da Costa victory, Josh.
Hold on, wait, but right now, what an amazing run to the line. Antonio Felix da Costa wins in Cape Town with a showdown on the last lap, and Fenestrauss is out. Cassidy third, Rast fourth. Wow!
Well, I think Jev lifted off on the penultimate lap, let Da Costa through, and then had more energy on the final lap there, but he couldn't get back track position, so it was a gamble from Jev, didn't quite pay off.
32 laps, and that took less time than a 45-minute plus 1 lap race. Just saying.
We packed
Great
more
joke
in
for Da
than
Costa.
that than some F1 seasons.
Yes.
What a crazy race. He deserved.
And again, the
Oh, Tom,
commentators.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. There we go. The commentators talking over it. But anyway, it was a woohoo from Da Costa. We did get it on the stream, and I hope
That sounds very like Antonio, doesn't
Yes,
it?
yes. In fact, I think that's a perfect impression of him. But anyway, that's that then. That was crazy.
I thought we might have to not be. I thought, well, yeah. I've run out of words, and that's unusual for me. What a Cape Town.
Yeah, Da Costa's season didn't get going in the best kind of way, but he's slowly bedded
Yeah.
into that Porsche team. And on a day where Verline binned it, it must be said, Da Costa has already opened up his championship challenge, and him and Jev have blown this championship wide open, possibly Cassidy as well. But Jev, he might feel a little bit like that was one that got away there. That
Yeah.
Da Costa maybe had the better car, but Jev, I think, put in a really strong drive today as well.
Tom, if you could just do me a favour and text Synthel in the commentary box chat. He's at F1 highlights in the chat, and just say yes, coming at 3:30 for the commentary. Thank you very much.
I'm not sure what
Well-
happened to Hughes near the end because
Yeah.
he couldn't get back on song with Lotterer. But also big shout out to Dan Ticktum getting his best result in 6th. Let's
Oh,
hope
yeah.
that stands. And yeah, Buemi, I think, just got past him at the end. But so good recovery drive from Buemi after being assaulted by Verline.
Today hasn't felt real. We're kicking it off again. Different commentary box, different race, but that was classic Formula E.
Yeah, only
Fantastic.
13 finishes from 17 starters then. Which is already quite a low number by FE standards.
Let's hope they're back in Sao Paulo. We got a month break now. 5 races in under a month
Yeah,
and a
there's
half.
going to be big question marks over the rear suspension of that
Yeah.
Hindra if Sao Paulo is as bumpy and high speed as Cape Town, which we don't think it will be. They'll probably add a few more chicanes in on that layer.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to feel a little bit for Fenestrauss. Not sure quite what happened at the end. It looks like under pressure from Cassidy, he just made a mistake, and there's a little banner there for Kelvin van der Linde. So those fans must feel bitterly disappointed. They sort of we came all this way to our home race, see our homeboy in action, and turns out that he couldn't even start. So, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
I just realised the one problem of using a 4K camera for the first time with this is that you can see how sweaty I get in the commentary box. It's shining off my head with the sweat.
Oh, really? I haven't been sweating at all. I'm very relaxed, but I
I'm
haven't
not
got a
u-
massive
yeah.
towel behind me. So
That's true. And I'm also, you know me, Ed, I don't sit down to commentate. I stand up. So I'm very much compressed. And I've got my legs crossed as well on the chair. So I'm very much in a compressed state at the moment, sat here.
Well, the
I
good
heard
thing
that,
is,
yes.
because the podium's the same as Hyderabad, but in a different order, so I just got to rearrange the flags,
Oh,
get the
perfect.
drivers sorted out, and as Da Costa gets out the car and celebrates, and rightly so. I think I interviewed Keith Smart, he always said, wow, Antonio's such a happy guy, and lifts up everyone in the team. So even when his results aren't the best, you can tell that... Da Costa, as the Nemo McLaren liveried Rene Rast, congratulates him. You can tell that he's a great asset for that team. And really, Porsche got two really, really strong drivers. And we sort of thought pre-season that Da Costa versus Verline was going to be one of the big battles. And you have to say today was a decisive one where Verline kind of blew a chance to win, and Antonio absolutely took it, even though he nearly blew it himself.
He nearly knocked into the cameraman there as well, actually. So he's properly pushing for it as well.
He nearly knocked into Vern as well, surprisingly. You could judge that really well, though. So you've got to say full marks to Antonio Felix da Costa.
Oh, big kiss.
I hope that's his girlfriend.
One of his,
I do, actually, just thinking about it.
I think it's his physio, effectively.
Oh,
they're all kissing.
It's
It's just how they do it now. Hey, it's brotherly love, brotherly and sisterly love in action. Don't judge, guys.
I must admit that was quite a passionate kiss. She kissed his neck as well, which is
that's just the Portuguese way of showing, mutual affection. And there's the Porsche.
I'm moving to Portugal then. It's
that Florian Modlinger giving it a big fish shake and tapping the table a little bit. Not quite. The Tony Wolf does it when he's angry. Now he's getting the rest of them to join in as well because it's slow mo. So he reacted first.
Everyone else wearing headphones. Nope, I'll prefer these custom modded earpieces, please. What a race! Fantastic here in Cape Town. I keep doing that.
Don't worry, Josh.
It was supposed to be the other way around, wasn't it? Well, we will hear from him because Tom's. I think we will hear from him shortly.
Unfortunately, that's no longer basically. I forgot about the interviews, so I shut it down. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, we'll talk through it. Actually, yeah, we'll talk through it and get ready and everything.
Antonio looks very emotional. Then maybe if I can very quickly get up to the.
Is he crying? I think he is. Yes, I can see tears.
Yeah, because he nearly blew that race, and B, it's been like a while. New York was the last race he won as well. He's not had the easiest start.
He's just remembered
the season.
He's just remembered his girlfriend's watching these pictures. That's why he's crying.
Outed on live international television.
Yeah,
that's fun to say.
Let's not ruin Da Costa's marriage. You never know, someone might be listening.
Well, to be fair, looking at that, I think he's ruined it himself.
And there's Jeff, congratulating him as well.
Looking at those images, though, guys, I think if I would be a little bit alarmed, looking at that from what he was on about, it was slightly alarming.
He's a very passionate person. It's Antonio Felix da Costa. I actually think it sort of works.
Twice on Saturdays.
Yeah, once because sort of works at. Very funny. Sort of works.
Just listening to it, and Jeff says, "I didn't see you in the mirrors." To Antonio, that's what he was just saying, which is quite funny.
It sort of works.
It's great to see them after such a tough battle that they can still smile and grin at one another. I guess it would be different if they were teammates. They might not have been fighting each other that hard. So maybe there's a sort of thing of they've been let off the leash somewhat compared to cheat. If this had been Techeetah last season, it would have been, right, Antonio, let Jeff win the race.
It sort of works against him, though, sometimes with Da Costa, how passionate he can be. You see it at Monaco and things. And I think, actually, he almost overdoes it sometimes, and I think, I'd like to see from him, if he is going to go on and win another championship, I'd like to see from him actually a little bit less passion and more of a cool head, because at the end of the day, I don't want to be demeaning, but it is only Formula E. I think it takes in these series a big, particularly a series like Formula E, it when you're having to fight through the field so often, it actually takes that cool head and a remembrance that it's not you can't treat it as a massive deal, I think is what I'm trying to say, without bad mouthing the series.
Well, I feel like Nick that I feel like people underestimate Antonio Felix da Costa because he's so happily and bubbly and smiling.
Nick, Tom, not Nick. No Nick today.
Oh shit! Sorry. Sorry about that. I made it worse by swearing. Now I'm sorry. It's because I thought I was doing touring car commentary the other day. I always get Nick and Tom mixed up for some reason. I called Nick Chris during that race as well at one point because I was talking about the two Chris Hurd, Chris English, and I got completely mixed up.
Nick thinks he's got away with not being here today. We'll get him. We'll get him back. He'll be
sorry
here.
about that, Tom. Anyway,
Josh called me.
The point that I was saying is completely gone now, isn't it? about to
I'm,
cost.
I'm what? I'm what? What?
You called me Josh, so I go when I next speak to you, I go.
I heard.
I go yes, yeah. I go yes, Tom, and no one noticed. And anyway,
I noticed. I did. I think. I thought at the time. Did he just say Tom? And I was like, what?
it's because you called me Josh, so I
Yeah.
return the favour.
You'll answer to whatever name I call you, damn it.
Do you know what? That's the problem with having so many commentary partners in testing. You forget who you're talking to at times. And also running on very little sleep and very little food. But we're 90 minutes away from the end of testing. And Megan's going to get a bit more annoyed soon because I haven't actually... I haven't gone to relieve her in the commentary box yet. I was meant to. But if we want to see the podium, we need to see the podium here. If Channel 4 are going to show it. If not, then we might just... in fact, I don't know if I can leave you two in control of the podium and I'll just disappear. I don't know if that's possible or not.
We're not gonna get the podium anyway because of the thing. So it would be a little bit pointless just to sit here and talk through it. So my suggestion would be to outro the stream here because we don't have the audio for it.
All right, give me a second.
Yeah.
You two start
Jev
talking.
has been saying that he's more thankful that he finished second rather than crashing out. So definitely he's in championship. I just need to keep getting loads and loads of points and I'll somehow steal the championship again for a third time. So he doesn't seem too torn up about losing the race.
Yeah, and that's smart.
Right now you get look. You hear me normally for once. Hello, I've adjusted everything so you can hear because this is what I've been using. Oh, hang on a minute. Let me just take it unplugged. There we go. There, now you can hear me. I've been using the iWig because the setup is mic into the thing and then an iWig for my microphone, and it worked quite well. Hopefully, I'll double back listen. Maybe we can't hear it well together, but on the stream it might be better because that's what I sometimes find. But what? Honestly, guys, fantastic race. Fantastic race. I can't fault it. Safety maybe is something to be looked at, but it's gone quite quick. I think single headers don't feel real. I think that's why you always get confused. Double headers for Formula E do seem to work a bit better, but now we've got a month to the next one.
I don't know. I think single headers, I can remember what happens in them by the time we get to Sunday, whereas double headers, it's like, did that happen in the Saturday race or the Sunday race?
Yeah.
And,
I get your point there, yeah.
But anyway, to me, that was... I feel like... I think I never thought Fenestraz or Gunther was going to win this one. I thought maybe if Gunther didn't get penalised and if he'd actually judged it perfectly with the full course yellow with Fenestraz.
Yeah.
I never thought Fenestraz as a rookie was going to quite be able to... I thought he might be able to get third at the end, but I didn't think he was going to win the race, especially when he blew that attack mode. And I think Cassidy just sort of struggled for energy in the final stint and sort of opened the way for Vern and Da Costa, really. So I feel like the Porsche is still the best car, but Giev is almost so good that he can sort of outdrive the DS and put it in the Penske in places where it probably doesn't have any right to be, in my opinion. But anyway, if we're going to skip the podium, shall I get the Lego podium out?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, just put it on and I'll do the national anthem.
How does the Portuguese national anthem go again?
I don't know. I'll just put it up and I'll go like this. Da, 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 da. There we go, done. That's the James May version of things. So we'll get that done.
Right. Sorry, I didn't have it actually centered in the frame. So people could actually see. I don't have that many white hats for the Hankook caps. I went all in blue for Michelin. But anyway, let's get the flags up.
They work. I'm looking at the same camera screen.
Yeah.
I have been able to see Tom actually throughout this entire race because the 50-inch television that's just alongside me here in the commentary box has been showing the YouTube stream, whereas I've been using a little monitor on a desk because
maybe
it just
if I hold my hands out, the focus will go on.
There
the
we go. Got it.
Better.
Yeah, we see it. There's the podium then. Tom, last words from you. What have you made of this race as well before I let you go? And even after you're not in testing anymore, in the last 90 minutes, what did you make of today's race?
Well, I think I need to lie down, and that's not just from managing the YouTube stream. I don't know how you do it, but I think I need to lie down anyway. I'm excited for tomorrow though. Now, where we stay in Cape Town, Josh, me and you on the cricket tomorrow afternoon. But anyway, I think
booked us a hotel room.
Don't make it weird.
If it's a stream with Josh, it's always going to be weird. So
That's true. So Cape Town cricket. What time's that cricket tomorrow? Just get the plug in. Go on, get the plug in.
12:30 stream starts. 12:30. Me and Josh go into the call. 12:45 we'll be on air, and that's on the USRN YouTube channel.
It'll be a lot of fun. I'm hoping as well that it might work out because I've got this bus mixer now as well. I can use my other headset, so I might not have to go to the garage. I've lost 3 pens in this race. So they've just been flying all over the commentary box. So that's ridiculous. Ed, last word from you. What have you made of Cape Town?
I think it's a really great track, especially over one lap. Even though arguably a little bit dangerous, but I think in the race we didn't see any huge accidents, did we? The biggest one was maybe Verline messing up, and I think in terms of the championship, that was the big story. Verline messing up, Dennis again having no luck, like we saw in Hyderabad, and just sort of no chance to score any points with that energy penalty. I think that's going to be a bit of a talking point going forward. These sorts of overpower penalties where it's kind of there's a spike on the data. The team and the driver gets no chance to protest it, as we saw with Buemi in Hyderabad, and it sort of ends up with this kind of where it's kind of a roll of the dice. It's a 50-50 whether your power is going to be okay or not. And it seems there's always one card that somehow gets picked randomly by the hand of God, as it were, and
Maradona.
Put to the okay, maybe not quite in the vein of the late great Maradona, but there's sort of more. There's certainly some divine intervention. It feels like that's just completely bizarre and random. But I feel like Da Costa, Verne are now almost as we were talking about Dennis and Verline as favourites for the championship. I think Da Costa and Verne have got to be in the mix almost as much as those two now with their recent performances. So I feel like next couple of races are going to be very, very interesting, Sao Paulo onwards, to see who builds up momentum and who, whether Jev and Da Costa can keep finishing on the podium, where Verline and Dennis can get it back together as they were in the first 3 races.
Going to be a lot of fun. Here's the results then. It's Antonio Felix da Costa who takes victory here in Cape Town with Jean Ogbern second. Nick Cassidy completing the podium in third. Rast was fourth, Buemi fifth, Ticktum sixth, with Van Dorn seventh, NATO eighth, Lotterer ninth, Hughes rounds out the top 10 of the points. And then we get Evans 11th, City Camera 12th, Dennis 13th. Fenestras crashed on the last lap. We haven't seen a replay of that. Looking, I noticed it, otherwise we wouldn't have figured it. He's in 14th, so he was out, as well as Gunther, Mortar, and Verline. And non-starting was, Mortar stopped the jump, but non-starting were Bird, then the 2 apps and the 2 Andretti's as well. Well, my thank you to Ed for joining me for the commentary as well. My thanks to Tom as well for joining us in the box and for streaming this event as well. Major help there, Tom. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. And to all of you at home for watching, and I encourage you to go and watch the last 90 minutes or so of Formula 1 testing. Well, Formula E, 5 races in just under a month. Very nicely done as well. And as we always say, Formula E has come here to Cape Town, and certainly the Cape Town races sang their song. We'll see you next time in a month in Sao Paulo. Bye-bye.